Hello everyone, welcome back to Kumari's Commerce Hub. I hope you all are doing great. So in our previous playlist, we have completed one of the most important units of financial management. That is the capital budgeting techniques. We have discussed various methods which includes the payback period, accounting rate of return, net present value, internal rate of return and profitability index. Now today we are starting a brand new unit called leverages, and this is one of the most important and frequently asked topics in financial management. So whether you are a BCom student, BBA student or any commerce student, understanding leverage is essential because it helps how business can increase profit by making smart financing and operating decisions. So in today's lecture we will focus only on the concepts and we will not solve any kind of numericals, because once the concepts are clear the calculation will become much easier for you all. So let's get started. First, let's understand what is leverage. All right, so leverage is, you can write these notes along with me so that it is easier for you to remember the things. Okay, so leverage is the use of fixed costs to increase the potential return of the business, okay, of a business. So this is the meaning of leverages. Now let's understand it in a simple language. Okay, so this word leverage has been derived from the word lever. Okay, think about a crowbar used to lift a heavy object. So with a small amount of efforts you can move something much heavier because the lever increases your force. So the same idea applies in the business itself. The companies use fixed cost as a tool to increase their profits. That is why we say that leverages is the use of fixed cost to increase the potential return of a business. So the important words here are fixed cost. So without fixed cost there is no leverage. Now we need to understand, why do companies use leverages? So what is the reason that companies use leverages? So first is, every company wants to increase their profit. So sometimes companies invest in expensive machines, modern technologies or borrow funds from the bank. Although these decisions increase the fixed cost, but they also create a possibility of earning higher returns. So if sales increases, profits may also increase much faster. This is the main reason why companies use leverages. Now there is a catch. If sales decreases, loss can also increase quickly. So the leverage can work both ways, like it can work for it and against a business as well. All right, now let's come to a very important point, that leverage has two sides. Okay, so first thing, so when business performs well, leverage can significantly increase their profits. But when business performs poorly, the same leverage can increase the losses as well. So that is why leverage is often called a double edged sword. Okay, you can write here, it is also called as double edged sword. Okay, now it has a power to increase the return, but it also has a power to increase the risk as well. So companies should use the leverage very carefully. Now let's come to the very important part here, that is the types of leverages. So leverage is basically are of three types. First is your operating leverage, then we have financial leverage, and the third one is the combination of both of these. Okay, so it is called the combined leverage. Now let's discuss each of them separately. So when we are talking about the operating leverage here, operating leverage is basically uses fixed operating cost. So let's write the examples of it. So examples include the rent, factory expenses, salary and insurance, salaries, insurance. Okay. So now, if I talk specifically, like, so these are the costs that company must pay. Like the company have to pay regardless of whether production is high or low. Like the company have to pay. Okay. The examples like rent, you have to pay the rent, you have to pay the salaries of the permanent employees, you have to pay the insurance, you have to pay the depreciation, even if you are facing losses or the production is very low. Okay, if production is high, then also you have to pay, like you have to pay, these are the fixed operating cost. Okay, so if a company with a higher fixed operating cost has higher operating leverage. Okay, so in our lecture we will see how a change in sales affect the operating profit through operating leverage. Now coming to financial leverages. Now financial leverages is related with the fixed financial costs. Okay, what are fixed financial costs? Okay, so whenever the company borrows the money, it must pay the interest, so that becomes your fixed financial cost. Now this interest is fixed. Okay, you have to pay it no matter the company is having, like whatever the problem is having, the company have to pay because they have borrowed the money from somewhere, right? So this interest becomes the fixed financial cost. Now the company often borrow funds because debt can help them to expand the operation without issuing the additional shares. See, sometimes the companies don't want it to issue the additional shares because that actually dilutes their control, right? So however, borrowing can increase the financial risk because of the interest has to be paid even if the profits decline. Okay, now coming back to the combined leverage. So combined leverage is basically the combination of both, like basically it has the effects of both operating leverage as well as the financial leverage. So it tells us how the change in sales ultimately affect the earnings available to the shareholders. So in simple words, if I say, so the combined leverage measures the total impact of fixed operating cost and fixed financial cost together. That means it is taking into consideration both of these things, like the operating leverage as well as the financing leverage. Now coming back to the comparison, if I compare them, so let's compare them. We can write the comparison here itself. Okay, so I'm drawing lines in between. Okay, so this is your operating leverage, this is your financing leverage. Okay, this is the combined one. Okay, combined. So fixed operating leverage is basically related with the fixed operating cost. Okay, fixed operating cost. And if I talk about the financial leverage, fixed financial cost. Okay, financial cost, I'm writing FC. And under combined leverage, both of these things are included. Now coming back to what has been affected under this leverage. So in operating leverage, it affects the EBIT. What is EBIT? Earning before interest and tax. Okay, And if I talk about the financial leverage, it affects the EPS. What is EPS? Earning per share. Okay. And about the, okay, just a second. Okay, if I talk about the combined leverage, so it affects EPS through sales. Okay, let me write it here only. This affects the EPS, and this affects EPS through sales. Okay, and under operating leverage, we face a business risk. And under financial leverage, we are facing the financial risk. Okay, and combined is basically the total risk. Now, oh, let's talk about the advantages of the leverage. Okay, so advantage includes basically the increase in the profit potentials. We need to write the, okay, anyways, I'm writing it. You can copy or you can just write down the notes along with me. Okay, advantages includes increases profit potential. Second, better utilization of resources. Third is it helps in the business expansion. Okay, it also improves the shareholders return. Okay, now talking about the limitations, it as it comes with the higher profits, or so it also comes with the higher risk. It also has a greater fixed cost burden, increased financial pressure as well as the losses may increase. Now, quickly, let's wrap up what we have learned so far. So, we have covered the meaning of leverage. Why do companies use the leverage? Then we have also covered the types of leverages uh, that is operating leverage, financial leverage, and combined leverage. We have also discussed the advantages and limitations. Now that's all for today's lecture. We have built the foundation of leverages unit by understanding the basic concept and different types of leverages. So in the next lecture, we will begin with the operating leverage, where we will understand the formula, interpretation, and solve step by step numericals. And if you found this lecture helpful, do not forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your classmates. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next lecture.